Hello, my snacks. Welcome back. My name's Jack. A man desperate to practice the Bible of Leonardo DiCaprio, a neighbor's attempt to weaponize their own children, acts like a boomerang, and other tales and scenarios that will also make your blood boil. For now, though, we'll begin with the most recent tale, the lighter of the bunch to just laugh at this person, really. It's a blocky title. They are desperate. My boyfriend left me because I kind of had feelings for someone else and kind of cheated. But after doing that mistake, I have realized a lot of things and learned a lot. I really want him back. I love him so much. Please tell me what I should do to get him back.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to How to Take No Accountability Whatsoever.
So, last year in September 2022, my boyfriend was in the UK studying, and I was in working. We were in a relationship since school, almost like 5 years, but the last 2 years were long distance because of COVID, and in December 2022, he was finally coming back to India. I was very happy. I loved him so much, and the same from his side. But then something happened. I met a guy at my workplace, and I don't know what happened to me. I did like him, but because I was in a relationship, I just wanted him to be friends. Oh, I love that. Well, something happened that was completely out of your control. So, initially, like after 2 to 3 days of talking, I felt like I was getting a crush, and since I might be giving him some wrong signals, I went and told him that I have a crush on you, but I am in a relationship of 5 years. Thinking that now he'll take his steps back.
Oh, come on.
But nothing like that happened. We kept talking, kept getting close, and something happened. I was so guilty, and all the time I kept crying, but also I could not finish everything or stop. Oh, are you ready for the best part about all this? Clear projecting on the blame to everyone else but her own. Some of the hints I kept giving to my boyfriend also, that yes, I am going out with him and all. I had told him I have a crush on this guy, but I could not tell him everything. I just kept crying to him to come here fast. I tried to warn him I was cheating, but, it's his fault for not understanding this complex millennium puzzle. As time kept going, things kept getting worse. This new guy kept giving me mixed signals. I was not even happy with him. I don't know what had happened to me. So, when my boyfriend came in December, I told him everything with all the details. He was broke and was horribly hurt. Now, you might assume that's where it ends, right? He's been cheated on, he leaves her, he moves on to better pastures. No, that's not how this ends. He actually tries to keep it working. But yeah, still, he was ready to make it work again, but I was still stuck. I still had very weird feelings for this new guy. I wasn't happy, but it was intense. I don't know. I think this woman's just discovered what being horny is like. I knew somewhere I am doing something wrong, that my boyfriend is only right for me, but I didn't have the willpower to do the right thing. Then my boyfriend asked me to choose between them, and I asked for time to figure it out. But since it was very, very difficult, both to keep him waiting and him asking me, I just told him to move on. I regret my decision so much. Oh good, she's now discovered post-nut clarity. Soon after that, he met a girl and they started dating in March, I guess. I was also with the new guy, or was trying to make it work till March, I guess. But he turned out to be a very horrible person, so I shifted in March to somewhere else. And he also found someone else to date. Anyways, from this whole big situation, I definitely learned a lot. Also, I know the value of my 5-year-long relationship now. It was so beautiful. I know what true love is now. I have been trying so much to ask him to come back to me. See, in his new relationship, he is all over the place, scared of all the things which might happen to him. But with me, it will be fully secure, and the love will be so pure. Since March, I've been trying and waiting patiently for him. I really do love him so much. I don't know what to do.
Nothing, you do nothing. You cheated. This relationship is over for good.
Followed by assurance that not a single person here believes that you genuinely love this man. You're just upset that he's with someone else. Look might be love to you, but you also seem to think the opportunity for a magic carpet ride is worthwhile to cheat on a partner. Ultimately, hey, take these lessons you've learned and apply them to yourself so you don't make this choice in the future. Notice how I said choice? This is because what you did cannot be classified as a mistake. You've had infinite opportunities to break it off with your crush, and you refused every single time. That is a goddamn choice. Up. Remember, this is a lesson in not taking accountability. Because according to the OP, well, people learn, right? They change. Besides, even in my relationship with my original boyfriend, he did a lot of things. Yes, not equal to cheating, but things I could have left him for. But our love for each other was so big. Really not big enough to say no to this other guy, though, was it? So, lesson learned, folks. If you want to make sure you... I don't know. I actually don't know what the lesson of this story is. If anything, a fascinating observation on how cheaters define the difference between mistake and choice. Now, it's all about equality here, so let's swing the pendulum over to the trashy man. I am majorly losing attraction to my girlfriend since she finished college and started... working. I met her almost 4 years ago at the beginning of her first year of college. She was your typical cute little college girl, wearing yoga pants and all sorts of cute outfits, and loved to party. God damn, immediately the thing he's mentioning that is great about her is what she wears. Bro! I had always had a fantasy of being with a cute college girl, but never had a chance to until I moved near a college campus and started matching with them on Tinder and Bumble. Oh my god, what the hell is this sentence? A couple of months after I met her, she even took what I call my sober virginity, where I made love to a sober girl for the first time. We moved in together after a year. Jesus Christ, man. This guy literally just went,
Hi everyone. Nobody will sleep with me unless they are too intoxicated to either care or notice.
I honestly can't decide if I should feel sorry or disgusted for this man. I mean, that's horrible to realize that the only reason people have been intimate with you is if they weren't in a clear state of mind. Honestly, by his wording though, I'm gonna have to go more so the disgusting route. Now, she has recently become a college graduate and started a new job last week. A few things have been bothering me. I hate the new clothes she wears to work. They remind me of my dad, going off to his own office job. When she was going off to school or to work as a waitress, she always looked adorable, but now she looks like some dorky old man every weekday morning. She also talks about work a lot, and it feels so strange. I'm beginning to dread asking her to tell me about her day, which I've always done, because she starts talking so much detail about her job and it's so boring. Her stories from waitressing in school were way more entertaining. She also keeps talking about all the crazy things she wants to buy, namely a nice new car and a nice new house in the suburbs. I told her there's no way I can afford to buy a house, and she said, we will be able to once I paid off my student loans and saved up for a down payment. Ugh. The audacity! She talked about wanting to have a garden and all this other stuff, which just made her seem so old. She talks about savings and finances, which she never did when she was going to college with loans and money from waitressing. Oh dear god, this man has found the most jackpot long-term partner and he is butchering it. I just feel like I'm starting to miss my little fresh-faced college girl. Now she's starting to play grown-up more and more, and it just rubs me the wrong way. I honestly can't help but feel that college girl to office lady is not a glow-up. Should I try and make things work and find a way to fall back in love with her? Some part of me is wondering if it can possibly work out long-term. Oh god, yeah, to really highlight how disgusting of a comment that was about the sober virginity thing, it's not that he was sober for the first time, but that the girls were sober. Between the rest of the post and this, he's got a real preying on drunk college girls vibe going on with his Peter Pan syndrome. This guy does realize women are not dolls, right? Right? I mean, he does not realize they grow up. Anyway, let's move on from that pathetic excuse of a little boy to an updated story beginning in True Off My Chest. From just a month ago, my students use sign language during class, and I found out something horrific. I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible. I'm not sure if this is the right place for this story, but I need to tell someone this story. English is not my first language. I'm an art teacher in the Netherlands. I have an amazing class with 21 kids. Majority of them are really sweet, but there is this one kid. Let's call her Jay. She has autism, and she seems to like me a little too much. She would do her best to be extra nice to me and would defend me whenever one of the other classmates weren't listening or being rude. As far as I know, she doesn't do this with her other teachers. She has a friend group of about 3 others, which she always sits with, and whenever they talk, there is always one of them that looks at me. it gives me the feeling that they are talking about me, which is kinda creepy, but I guess as a teacher, you can expect it. I have always kind of got the feeling that Jay likes me. For Valentine's Day, she bought a rose for me. Anonymous, but I know it was her because of the handwriting on the card. On Monday, she was always earlier to class than the rest, 5 minutes earlier than class starting. And she would be slow with making her work on purpose so she could stay after class with me. She would also always tell me stories about things at home that she doesn't like her family and other stuff. She would also very often come into class with bruises and other injuries, but that might be for another story. Basically, she would just be overly nice to me. I would never call her out on any of it because I thought that maybe I was just delusional and it was just her being different. But here comes the actual part on why I'm writing. Last week, I was teaching them, and Jay and her friends were speaking in sign language. Usually they would just be talking, but Jay was sitting alone on the other side of the classroom because she and her friends were being quite annoying. Now, I know sign language because my brother is deaf, but I never told the class this, so they didn't know. Apparently, Jay and her friends were talking about me, how Jay wanted to find out where I lived. She does know the town I live in, and wanted to break into my home and do things to me. I can't really go into detail, but that's one thing I heard. I also found out she's stalking me on my way home from work, to the bus stop, and on social media. She also fantasizes about me, and I heard many other things that I can't really say on here. I haven't gone to work since because I don't think I can work at that school anymore. I feel bad for Jay that she doesn't see me in class anymore, but I don't want to risk anything. What do I do? Should I go back? I have no idea why I'm even posting here. I'm just so creeped out and I have no idea what to do. In a quick edit, I have some people complain about my spelling and some other things. I'm 21, Jay is 12. I was writing this on my break with my other job, so that's why a lot of things are a little weirdly written. I have also never posted on Reddit before, so that's also why. Now, I can't see in this original story any mention of whether the teacher is a guy, gal, or non-binary pal. Either way, it's still an adult being fantasized about by a child. It's like the reverse pedophile, philoped, if that's a thing. Either way, a majority of the comments are just suggesting to report this ASAP. Organize Jay to be in a different class or do projects somewhere else, maybe. Of course, there can be repercussions about this. Record everything you can about your interactions with Jay, because if you reject them, Lord knows how they're going to react about this and maybe create some false accusations in retaliation. They came back with a few little edits, mentioning they'll talk to Jay tomorrow at school. They're going to bring 2 others to join them, of course, not just one-on-one, but it wasn't until a few days later that they actually gave a proper update on the situation. Update. Hi, everyone. Here is the update. Once again, thanks to all the support. This is written late at night and I'm tired, so it's once again very poorly written, but I will try my best. So I talked with Jay, her mentor, and someone else from school. I talked with them alone before we talked with Jay so they would understand the situation better. Jay's mentor, one of those, was the one to talk the most because I wasn't sure what to say. But when Jay's mentor, let's just call her M, asked why Jay did all of this, Jay started crying and didn't want to talk anymore. M wanted me to leave because she believed Jay didn't want to talk because I was there, so I left. A little bit later, I was called by M. She wanted me to come and to talk about what happened and what Jay told her. Well, like a lot of you already thought, Jay had a rough time at home and was indeed being abused. Not physically by her parents, but emotionally. Her parents constantly favored her younger sisters over her, and in Jay's words, don't care about her. Her older sister would regularly bring home multiple boys while babysitting Jay and her sisters, which is probably one of the things Jay learned about more intimate stuff. Now, a lot of others in the comments thought that Jay was being sexually abused at home, but that's not what is going on. Jay told M that her other classmate, L, who is 2 years older due to having to repeat a year, sexually abuses Jay. Oh, God. Jay says that L claims that this is what love is, and that's why Jay thought that it was okay to say those things about me because she loves me. Oh no. I could admit that's a twist. The abuse was in the classroom this entire time. Jay explained to M that she didn't mean it like that and that she wouldn't want to hurt me. Apparently, Jay had the feeling that she was in love with me and told this to her friends. They taught her that the things she said, like stalking me and potentially breaking into my house, are part of being in love, And that's why she did it. I saw another comment saying that Jay acts like this towards me because I'm one of the few nice people in her life. I'm not sure. Jay did not say anything that would prove that, although I think that's probably what's going on, and that's why she thinks she's in love with me. I really can't think of any other reason why a 12-year-old would like me. This is all I know now. All happened today, although I don't think I'm going to get more updates on the situation. Em is, like I mentioned in a comment, not one of the best people ever, so I doubt she will involve me further, but if everything Jay says is true, I hope she gets some help and possibly a new home. I would love to update further, but that's only if I get updates myself. Have a good night to everyone still awake. Oh, and not that it really matters, the OP did clarify they're a woman. Yeah, it's a very disturbing situation for Jay to be in, as some comments even theorize that it's possible they aren't even friends with Jay, those people she hangs out with. It's possible they're just taking advantage of her neurodivergence and naivety to teach her these things for their own amusement. And honestly, I could see that, especially the idea of, there is no way you would genuinely believe, even at the age of 14 to 12, that breaking into someone's house, which at that age you'd be aware of is against the law, but doing that is a sign of love? Come on, they were doing that just to try and test her. We'll now cleanse our palates in legal advice with a story where there is at least some satisfying comeuppance. Beginning 2 weeks ago, Neighbour is suing me because one of my horses nearly killed her kid. She's suing me for around $5,000 and for legal fees as well. Now, she let the kid climb into the paddock with my stallion, who is extremely aggressive and territorial. This woman has been told multiple times to not come onto our property or even touch our horses besides the stallion. Is there any way I could make a counterclaim to it? I have footage of her letting her kid pet the stallion and some of our other animals. Now look, I could pay this off, but I don't want this on my record, as I am about to go and buy 10 or 15 more horses to fill in land at our farm. I just need to know how I can get this woman to stay off our property permanently so that this does not happen again. To highlight what is the most sound advice and most interesting to read, this is like the classic "my neighbor's kid stuck into my yard and drowned in my pool" cases. Whether or not they have a claim comes down to their ability to prove negligence from your end, or that your animal was extremely vicious. Did you have proper fencing? Did you have any signage? Was a horse you knew to be dangerous in an area too easily accessible? Have you previously allowed them to do this or similar? If they had no permission to enter your property and purposely climbed over your fence, then it'd be hard for them to prove from their end. Your homeowner's insurance may actually have a personal liability clause in there that covers you against these kind of suits, by the way, so definitely check there. If you don't already have liability assurance, you should 100% get it if you'll have many horses. In any case, you should get a lawyer to advise you on this. And the OP informs us, I have fencing all around my property, and the stallion is kept in a paddock with double fences just because of how mean he is. We also have no trespassing signs, and they aren't allowed near any of our animals, let alone on our property. Ultimately, everyone's suggesting to file a police report and seek about that insurance you can possibly apply for. So with this advice attained, the OP returns on the same post just a few days later. It's a short but sweet one. So my insurance took care of it, and I only had to pay about $2,000 for damage to my property. Now, she was charged with child endangerment and abuse. Apparently, they found out that she kept them out of school and was using them to get money from her husband. The stallion is also fine. He also got lots of treats.
Ah, well, that plunged quickly.
I feel like if you're doing something illegal, like neglecting your child, you should probably stay out of court. Yes, it is very important to only be committing a maximum of one crime at once. As the old saying goes, never break the law while you are breaking the law. You know, reading the comments about how much of an a-hole horses and ponies can be, I had only one thought. Are all the horse girls in fact secretly masochists? I can only answer for myself. Yes, we all are. Well, it's the end of this video. Select another or forever doom scroll. I don't really care, but it's up to you. I give free will. Do with that what you will.